So China's one-child policy. Now, we know that the one-child policy has ended, but the one-child policy ending doesn't mean that things change overnight. So there are some very bad things that you actually see here in China now because of the one-child policy, and things that will continue to happen into the future for quite a long time. And the number one thing that I want to talk about is because the one-child policy, you actually have a lot of old people here in China. Now, when you come to somewhere like Guangzhou, it's something that will stand out to you right away, is that there's a lot of old people. And what I mean is there's a lot of old people that aren't really doing anything. They're kind of just sitting around, you know, even in parks, like they're just laying around in the park, not doing anything. They have nothing to do. There's nothing that they can give to society at this point, and they don't produce anything. So you have this situation where all these beautiful buildings and things that are being built, you know, you have to keep going, you have to keep building, because that's how China is. China never stops, you know. China's technology is getting better. You know, the buildings are getting taller and taller, and everything just keeps growing. But you have all these old people that will have to be supported by their children. And the problem is a lot of them only have one child. It's very difficult for a child to have his own children and support his mother and father too, because here in Chinese culture, that is something that is expected. In fact, a lot of older people prefer that they have a boy because they know that the boy will stay at home and take care of them when they get older, right? A lot of them don't want to have a girl because a lot of times here in China, a girl will leave the family and go to a different city like Guangzhou or like Shenzhen and actually work away from the parents. So now what we're seeing in China is that a lot of these things that they really need for work, you know, are not able to be filled. They can't fill the positions because the population is, by and large, old people, right? One of the other major problems that it actually caused was these tourist births, right? Where a lot of people here in China were actually flooding, you know, to Hong Kong, where they were flooding to America to actually have babies. You know, you can't just go to a country and have a baby, but that's something that a lot of people are doing here. They would go to Hong Kong, they would have a baby, and then their baby would be essentially from Hong Kong, right? They could have as many babies as they want. And a lot of countries, you know, especially Hong Kong, to combat this type of thing, what they started to do was when women went to the border to walk across, if they were already pregnant, well, they wouldn't allow you over. And in fact, last time I went to Hong Kong with my wife, they asked if she was pregnant, you know? And it's kind of funny because it's just a very strange question that in the Western world you probably wouldn't be asked, but it happens because they realized that here in China that was something that happened so many times, you know, that they had to prevent it. And that was the way that they prevented it. One of the other major problems is it kind of ruined the dating scene for people now. Maybe back then, you know, they thought, well, they want to slow down the growth, right? They thought that that was the right thing to do, but it creates a lot of problems for people now. And one of the other ones is actually for a guy to find a girlfriend. And you think, wow, there's over 1 billion people that live here in China, so you should easily be able to find a girlfriend, no problem, right? Because, you know, in America, you know, if you're an American like me, you hear it all the time. These guys are like, oh, I can't find a girlfriend. You know, it's like, oh, well, you're just a loser. Well, no, really, like there are guys here in China that have a job, that make money, and they're good guys. But the problem is they literally can't find a girlfriend because there are so many more boys than there are girls, right? And because of the one-child policy, people thought, oh man, I can only have one child, so I have to make sure it's a boy because people preferred a boy. So you got generation after generation after generation of boys. So there's a problem now that the boys literally can't find a girlfriend a lot of times. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. Thanks for watching my video. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.